One of the cool things about the new Mini is how you can change the design of the tail lights. Look, change from that to that. Also around the front, you can do the same kind of thing. So the headlights will change as well, from this to that to that. Now in this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this new car. I'm going to talk around the exterior. That's a bit too small. Show you the interior. Chafing yourself. I'm going to take it for a drive. Oh, that guy's not happy. I'm going to tell you what's good about it. That is very useful. What's not good about it, that's pathetic. And of course, I'm going to launch it to see how quick it is to 60 miles an hour. I'm Matt Watson, and you're watching Carwow. There's something a little bit confusing about the new Mini. So you can get it as an electric car, which is what this is, or as a petrol car. They look very similar, but actually underneath the skin, they have different platforms. The petrol car is based on a revised version of the old car's platform, whereas the electric one is on an all-new platform. But it's hard to spot the differences. Main one is the fact that the electric car has a blanked out grille, whereas the petrol one doesn't. Also, you can get the petrol one as a 5-door, but you can't get the electric one as a 5-door. Now, in the past, I've gone off the look of the Mini. I like the first generation and the second generation, but the previous generation just looked overdone, too much like bling and bits of plastic on it. It's over-styled. But this one just looks cleaner. It's a good looking car. I really like it. It's got plenty of character and charm. Now, you can get it in 3 different trim levels. There's classic, there's exclusive, and then there's a top spec sport, which has a slightly more aggressive front bumper design. You've got John Cooper Works badging, you've got black detailing. You can also get it with 2-tone bodywork. So this one has the red roof and the red door mirrors. I really like that. It's got some side skirts. The electric car also has flush door handles for efficiency, whereas the petrol version has old-fashioned door handles. I actually like these door handles, to tell you the truth. Being a sport, we've got more John Cooper Works badging here. Got 18-inch alloy wheels. Alloy wheels actually start at 16 inches. That's a bit too small. Moving to the back here, I really like the rear design of this car. Looks very nice. We've got Cooper S badging because this is the sporty version. And we have a fake diffuser, which doesn't look too bad. Tell you what's not so good though. The price. The Mini with the petrol engine starts at £23,000, but if you want an electric one with a smaller battery, it's £30,000. But if you want the bigger battery, it gets more expensive. Add in the sport trim, it's even more expensive. This one, with all the equipment on it, is £42,000. Thankfully, you can save an average of around £1,700 off a Mini electric through Carwow. But do you know what? A Tesla Model 3 starts from £38,000 and you get more equipment on that, more range, more space, and £42,000 for a Mini. Oh my gosh, what has the world come to? I like the inside of this new Mini just as much as the outside. The key feature is this big circular screen. Really, really nice crisp colours to it. Slight complaint is that it's not the fastest. Look, a little bit of lag action going on there, but it's relatively easy to use. Though, as ever, all the climate control functions are done through there. You have your quick one for your max and your rear, but if you want to actually change anything in particular, you have to do that and press buttons and slide things about, or press that to get the fan up, and then you can control that. So that's a bit of a fiddle. Also, there's no place to really rest your arm to operate it. That can be a bit hard when you're driving, trying to like hit some of the icons. In terms of the quality of the material, this is all made out of like recycled stuff, and it's hard wearing and stain resistant. I like the look of it. It looks quite cool and interesting. You have it on the door here. Though it is quite rough, and I've noticed that if you're not wearing sleeves, you end up sometimes rubbing your arm against it and chafing yourself. In terms of quality, well, things get a bit scratchy lower down, but the build is pretty solid. This being the sports version, you get the sports steering wheel with this little strappy bit here. I quite like that. Though I do find the rim a little bit too fat. It's a shame. Seats are quite comfy though, and you can get different colours depending on what trim level you go for. Now, if you have one of the option packs, I think it's the first level option pack, so there's 3 option packs, then you get a heads-up display. Now, it's not actually projected on the windscreen, which is a shame. Reason for that is that the windscreen is too curved, so you have it like projected up there. Good thing about that though is if you're wearing polarised glasses, you can still see it, whereas the ones that project on the windscreen, you don't tend to be able to see them if you're wearing polarised sunglasses. This one has the panoramic glass roof as well. That's part of the level 2 option pack. In fact, it's also confusing with the option packs. What I'm going to do is just put a pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen, or QR code on the screen now. Follow those, right, if you want to actually compare all the different trims and options and bits and pieces that you get with the car depending on the level. In terms of storage, the glove box is a decent enough size. You have some storage in this little, looks like a big sunglasses holder under here. Have this tray area here, some cup holders there. The door bins, they're okay. You can put bottles in there if you need to. You have a bit more storage area there, and that's where the wireless charging pad is on this car. You've got 2 USB-Cs there, and there's a 12-volt socket there as well. One thing I don't like about the inside of this car is the fact they haven't fitted it with a light for the vanity mirror, which is a bit weird considering how much this car actually costs. Driving position is multi-adjustable, as with every car to be fair, and you can do things like lumbar support and so on and so forth on this one. And I'll show you the adjustment in the steering wheel. Look, there's quite a lot of it, which is good. Let's do it. Let's go into the back. It's not the easiest. So pull this toggle here. Wait for that to happen. Right, here we go. I'm going to move this out of the way so you can see what's going on. Pull this back. Should go back to my driving position, hopefully. As you can see, knee room, super tight. Headroom, it's pretty tight as well. I can just about get away with this. There's not much under thigh support, even though the seat bases are deep. I can't really take advantage of that because you can't stretch your legs out. There are these little slots here, I suppose, where you put your mobile phone. Just try it out like that. You've got these little holders there for the seat belt so they don't snag when you fold the back seats down. Obviously, being a 3-door, you can't wind down the rear windows. There's no 3 seats in the back. It's only a 2-seater, but really, I don't think you'd want to have 3 in the back of this. 5-door version has 3 seats in the rear. You have ISOFIX anchor points here that are really easy to get to, but trying to get the baby seat in is a bit of a faff because there's not much room in this gap here. But you can fit a rear-facing seat in there and still have just about enough room in the front for the front passenger. It's all a bit snug though, but then it is a Mini. Now, if you'd rather have an electric car in this kind of price point with some more rear space, I've got an alternative. If you want to find out what that is, click on the pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen or follow the QR code on the screen now using your mobile phone. Now let's check out the boot on this car. And we're going to start with something positive. Always start on a positive. Look, there's not much of a lip to lift things over, so you can slide items in and out. But there really isn't much space for what you want to carry. Now, if you want to compare the boot size on this compared to some of the cars, pause the video now. We've got a comparison chart. A Fiat 500 Electric's boot is smaller, but pretty much every other car in this category has a bigger boot. The 5-door has a slightly bigger boot than this 3-door, but it's not large. Let's see if we can fit someone in it. So James, if you give it a go, be brave, hold your breath. Let's see if we can shut it. Go on, try, maneuver a bit, see if we can get it shut. Come on, you're just being a wuss. Come on. Got it. You're in? So I was wondering, like, whether we should just go for a nice walk around here, maybe go for a drive another car. I don't know, really. Oh, actually, it's lunchtime, isn't it? Should we go for lunch, Adam? Yeah. Yeah, let's go for lunch. It's all right day, actually. It's not too hot. Fortunately for James, you can fold down the rear seats and they lie flat, which makes escaping easier. James was actually very lucky that I didn't use him to illustrate the space in the front boot or the lack of space in the front boot, because there really is no front boot, just that. Anyway, that brings me on to 5 annoying things about this car. The driver's footwell is quite tight in terms of space, and if you're wearing big shoes like me, you can find yourself accidentally catching the brake when you're meaning to hit the accelerator. A bigger problem though is that this part of the center console intrudes into that footwell, so when you're just like trying to relax with your leg on there, you're always brushing against it, which isn't that comfortable. The rear view mirror on this new Mini is mounted lower down in a pod which also includes the sensors for the driver's aids, but it does block your view somewhat through the center of the windscreen. Means that you can't see my face now, can you? Look, I have to look, lean around here. Hello. It's not ideal, is it? The brakes on this car are so blooming creaky. Every time you stop, you get that noise. You only get one cup holder here for the back seats, and if you look at it, it's not adjustable and it's rather large, which means if you have the most popular bottle size, it's a bit loose. You only have to knock it and whoops, look at that, oh dear. Towel please, towel please. Oh, see, probably serves me right that, but there's always mopping up spillages. There are 2 poorly thought out things about the boot. So look at this. That doesn't really lift up very high. Can we adjust this? I don't know. Can we? No. I mean, what is the point? It needs to lift up there, really. It's like, that's pathetic. So what's also pathetic, you have an adjustable boot floor, but this is the amount of adjustment you have. This is the lower position here. Then after a bit of jiggery pokery, I can put it, come on, get in the raised position. It gives you an extra inch. Now normally I'd welcome an extra inch, but in this case it's not enough. However, look, at least you can do this. Come on. You can fit this massive load cover underneath there when you have that floor in the raised position, but to be fair, they should just leave it in the raised position anyway. There's no point for this extra functionality because it doesn't give you much extra. Anyway, that brings on to 5 cool things about the new Mini Electric. You can get the car with a dash cam and an interior cam. So if you go into the dash cam, you can actually just have a look at the recordings. It'll auto record if you have an accident and so on and so forth. This was from earlier, look, and you can look at the different camera angles as well. There's James again from a different angle. There's me messing around on my phone. Now, what's actually going on there is we're just trying to lock the car and unlock it, try and reset it, because we wanted to record something better than that to show you as part of this clip and for the interior camera. But we've been having a bit of a mare with it that, look, the interior camera doesn't seem to want to record anything. It's just got a blank screen. It was working earlier, but now it's not, and I have no idea why. Isn't tech great? Using the Cars app, you can actually designate 10 different virtual keys to different friends and family. So you just send them a link and then they'll be able to get into the car and drive it using their mobile phones. They don't actually have to have the app themselves. The link will actually work for them. Also, using the app, soon you'll be able to get a summon feature for the car. So if it's in a tight parking spot, you'll be able to press a button on your phone and then it'll summon the car out, which will make it easier to get in and out. Like I said, it's not available yet. They'll be providing an over-the-air update, and that's why I've had to illustrate that by using a James. So we don't have a summon, we have a James. As you're driving along, the car is constantly remembering your steering input. So let's say you're going down a narrow road and you're trying to kind of maneuver around obstacles, then you meet someone coming the other way and you're like, oh no, I need to reverse up, but that's going to be an absolute arse. What you can do is go into reversing assistant, press that button, and then it will play your steering in reverse. So now I go in reverse, watch this, it's going to steer me around him, look, no hands, hopefully I'm not going to kill him, and it'll take me back to where I was. Believe me, in the kind of places you're likely to be driving a car like this, that is very useful. There's ISOFIX on the front passenger seat, which is really handy if you want to keep your big baby next to you. The car has a bunch of different experience modes. So this one is cool, which is like your classic Mini layout with the big speedometer. There's a Go-Kart mode, which is a bit racier looking. And then there's some other modes as well. If we go to green, which is a more eco mode, they'll also change things like the throttle response and so on and so forth to make the car more efficient. Let's get off that. Vivid, which is quite interesting because it'll actually use these LED light projector here, which projects lights onto the dash, and then it will change the color of the light it projects depending on the music that you're playing, so it does it in time to the music. Let's move off from that to timeless, which is kind of like classic Mini look. Oh yeah, look, I like that. And then there's personal, where you can send like images to the infotainment system through the car's associated app, which you have on your mobile phone, so you can take pictures and have your favorite person image there. That's cameraman. I totally forgot your name, Adam. But you are my favourite. I'm just going senile because I'm so bloody old. There are 2 versions of the electric Mini. So you can get the E, which has a 37 kilowatt hour battery pack with a range of this, and it has 184 horsepower. Then there's the SE, which has a bigger battery pack, 49 kilowatt hours with a range of this, and that one has 218 horsepower. Then there's the petrol versions. So there's a 1.5 litre 3-cylinder turbo petrol with 156 horsepower, or a 2 litre turbocharged petrol in the Cooper S that has 204 horsepower. Regardless of which one you go for, they're all front wheel drive and automatic. There are no manual Minis anymore. So which version of the Mini should you go for? Which trim level and which spec? There's so many choices. Do you know what I've done? I've made life easy for you. I've actually configured my favourite version of the Mini using the carwow configurator. To see what the car is, the engine or battery pack I've gone for, and the trim level and all the other stuff, just click on the pop-out banner appearing in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Alternatively, use the QR code on the screen now. Just follow it with your mobile phone and you'll find out exactly which Mini I've chosen and the saving of it through carwow. Now, the first thing I've noticed while driving this new Mini Electric is that I seem to be sat higher than I would otherwise be in previous Minis. And that's because the driving position is raised by about that much because you've got the batteries underneath you. For me, as a keen driver, I'd rather have my bottom on the floor for that real go-kart-like feel. But I know a lot of people that have had Minis, they always used to just like jack up the seat anyway, so I don't think many owners will care. Now, one thing that did put a lot of people off from the Mini in the past is that the suspension is a bit on the firm side, and I think this one is actually probably even firmer. So when you're going slowly around town over bumps, it is firmish, but it's not really jolting, it's not terrible. It gets worse though when you're going quicker, and more on that in a moment. First thing though, I'm going to try and do a U-turn to check the manoeuvrability, because it's really important for a Mini to be manoeuvrable. And the turning circle is 10.8 meters. I'm going to put up the reversing cameras, the around view cameras. I've got a lorry bearing down on me. Lorry drivers generally aren't particularly patient. Oh no, he's waving, he's nice. I'll take it all back, sorry lorry drivers. But look, quite easy to get round. This surround view camera fitted to this car is really, really helpful. That's what you want from a Mini. It's manoeuvrable enough. Oh, that guy's not happy. He's shouting because I was a little bit too slow because he's in a big rush, I think. If you like one pedal driving, which basically allows you to drive around at low speeds without touching the brake because when you lift off. So look, I'm going to show you now by lifting off the accelerator and it comes to a complete stop. I like that for just driving in town. Let's just try the brakes out though, just at low speeds. They're okay. Steering, this is just like in the lighter setting and it's not overly light. Visibility, those pillars are quite large. The view out the back window isn't bad though, but there are some huge blind spots by those rear pillars. So when you're like looking over your shoulder like that to pull out at certain junctions or maybe out of a driveway, they do just get in the way of your view when you're trying to see oncoming cars. You might notice then the tyre noise as I change surface from like a smoother surface to this darker, more rough surface. There's also quite a bit of wind noise. It is not the quietest car in this category. Right, so we're approaching the dual carriageway now. What I've done is reduce the speed to 40 miles an hour. We're going to see the pickup from 40 to 70 when I floor it. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. And that's 70. Pretty quick. And you got that noise like wow. The noise is very similar to you get in BMWs, and BMW use the composer Hans Zimmer to create the noise for its cars, but they haven't done it for Mini, even though it sounds the same. As I'm going quicker, can you notice the wind noise a bit? It's not terrible though. I'm actually averaging 3.6 miles per kilowatt hour. So when you multiply that out by the battery capacity, that means a real world range in this car of about 177 miles on a full charge. Whereas this one in this trim level should be doing 241. So I'm getting about 77% of the claimed range. Though to be fair, because I've been testing this car, I have been giving it a squirt every now and again. So that won't have helped the efficiency. I reckon you will be able to get it to around about 80% of the claimed range, which is way better than the old Mini Electric, but it's not that far, is it really, if you need to go a long distance. What I'm going to do now is put the car into Go-Kart Mode. Oh yeah, so come on, goodbye Adam's beautiful face, I'll miss you. Put it into Go-Kart Mode. What that does is sharpen the throttle response and make the steering weightier. That's it though. So the sounds have got more pronounced, and we even get a little bit of almost like turbo wastegate whistle when I lift off the accelerator. Hear that? It sounds like a starship, this does. Now, going quicker, this is where I'm feeling the problem with this car, because over like uneven surfaces, it really does just skip about quite a bit. It's a bit fidgety. Now, part of the problem for this is the fact that because this car has batteries on, it's quite heavy, so they have to fit it with quite firm suspension to cope with that. You see, this thing weighs almost 1.7 tons, which is the same weight as a John Cooper Works Countryman, which is a much bigger car. To be fair, it does still go around corners pretty well, look. Just grips, stays nice and flat. The steering's pretty sharp. Being front wheel drive, you do feel it struggle for grip as you try and accelerate out of a bend. You do also get a bit of torque steer, so when you put your foot down, you can feel the front wheels like hunting for grip, and the steering wheel squirms in your hand a bit. Makes it feel a bit like kind of like a wild dog on the lead, like just scurrying about. So that does create an element of fun. Though if I'm brutally honest, while the electric motor is punchy, you just don't get the same thrills as you do ripping through the gears in the petrol version of the car. You just don't. This car does have a certain charm to it. I think it's got more character than many of its competitors. And yes, it's got its flaws and all that kind of stuff, but there's just something likeable about it. And that's how it should be with a Mini. Mini says this car do 0 to 60 in 6.7 seconds. Let's find out for ourselves now with the specialist timing gear. Left foot on the brake boost. Let's go. Struggling for grip, skipping about a bit. It matters not. 6.23, wow, that's pretty quick. So then, what's my final verdict on this new electric Mini? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, do you know what? I'd shortlist this Mini. You see, it might be expensive and it does have a few flaws, like it's a bit small inside and it is rather expensive. But it has bags of character and it makes you want it. And that matters, especially in today's market of boring, homogenized electric cars. Anyway, I hope you'll enjoy the video. If you did, give it a like. If you want to watch some other videos, click on the video windows. And if you want to sell your car the easy way to buy your next car, you should do it through Carwow and have dealers all across the country bid on it. Just click on the Carwow logo to go find out more. Thanks for watching.